Hi, Gordon the Gamekeeper here again. In the first episode of Conservation Fact Files, we talked about gamekeepers and their important role in the conservation and protection of our countryside. To learn more about what game and conservation managers do, we need to first look at the habitats in which they work and how they are managed for the benefit of a diverse range of insect and bird species. There are three main habitat types in the United Kingdom: farmland, upland and woodland. Today we're going to start by looking at farmland conservation management. We will cover the others in the following episodes. Farmland is defined as land under cultivation or capable of being cultivated. This means land that is ploughed and sown with crops, known as arable land. The United Kingdom has a surface area of 24.3 million hectares, or 243,000 square kilometres, of which 25% is arable land, amounting to just over 6 million hectares. The UK produces less than 60% of the food it consumes. Consequently, farming has seen many changes over the years, including the introduction of intensive farming methods in an attempt to increase our self-sufficiency. However, there are some serious ecological consequences to this search for increased volumes. Intensive crop production, increased use of pesticides and herbicides, and the removal of hedges has led to a substantial loss of biodiversity on farmland. One consequence has been a massive reduction in songbirds over the last 40 years. We have lost over 40% of the farmland bird population. For instance, the yellowhammer population has declined by a staggering 75%. This means that in some areas of the country, the fabulous sound of the dawn chorus has been totally lost. Gamekeepers and farmers are trying to mitigate the effects of intensive crop production by introducing a range of simple measures which can benefit both the crop quality through increasing the variety of insects, especially beetles, and also provide shelter and food for the birds. Two examples are field margins and beetle banks. Whilst farmers still need to spray their crops, they are being encouraged to leave a 6-metre strip at the edges of smaller fields unsprayed. This is known as a field margin. Here we can see a field margin that has been sown with a game crop, a mix of plants that not only provides cover for the birds, but also seeds and insect larvae for them to eat. Choosing the right mix of plants and grasses can provide food and cover throughout the year. Here's a quick video of how important these margins are to just one species, the partridge.
These grassy borders have to remain for a minimum of 5 years to produce insects, which are absolutely indispensable to the little partridges in their first 3 weeks of life. And at the same time, we've noticed that these insects, particularly carabid beetles, are essential to agriculture, because these lovely carabid beetles feed on the aphids that are vectors of the beet western yellow virus. They emerge in February and penetrate inside the field to a distance of about 60, 70, 80 meters.
As we heard, when the field is in crop, the beneficial insects such as predatory beetles migrate from the margins or edges of the field into the crop and consume aphids that eat the crop. That is fine for smaller fields, but for larger fields this can take a long time to achieve. So for large fields it is beneficial to create beetle banks in the middle. Here's an example of a beetle bank. It is simply a hump of earth sown with grasses such as cocksfoot, red fescue and timothy that the beetles overwinter in and then spread out into the crop. In summary, the simple measures of field margins, wildflower headlands, hedges and beetle banks provides increased biodiversity on the land, improved crop quality and yield, reduction in the quantity of general insecticides and herbicides sprayed, sanctuary areas for ground nesting birds, and a valuable source of food for the birds. So this time we have learnt a little about the work of game and conservation managers on farmland and their active management of the land. Sadly, without this active management, we are in danger of losing some native species. However, there are some great conservation stories out there that bring hope. Next time we will look at the second habitat area, the uplands. Goodbye for now.